Who are my favorite three? Not my top three ranked players to draft on draft day, but my favorite three. Guys I think are going to win you leagues based on where you can draft them. And I've got a dynasty twist at the end. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's break down all of these three guys. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty.
Take a lap. I love Ceedee Lamb.
Justin Jefferson completely overshadowed Ceedee Lamb's rookie year. But Lamb had Dak go down. The offense was a mess. They couldn't run the football, which impacted the passing attack. But how could he not, given the quarterback situation? But I think Dak being back and healthy, and he looks good. All indications are he will be good to go. And he looks fantastic in videos and workouts that I've seen.
Dak coming back.
We'll get Elliott and the run game going. And Amari Cooper is still going to command a whole lot of attention. Defenses in 2021 won't focus on containing Lamb. There are too many weapons. When you have Zeke, when you have Cooper, a guy like Ceedee Lamb, who hasn't yet proven himself yet to opposing defenses, will probably walk through the entire 2021 season with all kinds of opportunity. One-on-one matchups, this guy will have a chance to unload and drop loads all over the field in 2021. 111 targets as a rookie, 74 receptions, pretty darn good, and 935. 5 TDs, 2 100-yard games. Guys, this is a really good rookie wide receiver season, especially given the situation that took place in Dallas in 2020. COVID, no Dak, QB carousel, garbage offense, can't move the football. Zeke Elliott disappeared entirely. This is a good rookie wide receiver season no one's talking about because of how good the next guy on the list is, Justin Jefferson. Good gracious. And I mentioned this to Jason Moore from the Fantasy Footballers on my show yesterday when I said, give me 1 or 2 wide receivers that are the most likely that no one would expect to finish number 1 overall for all wide receivers. So it has to be kind of shocking. But, Jefferson's not all that shocking. I think Lamb probably is a lot more shocking. But those are my 2. Who do you think could be number 1 that would shock people? My 2 were Lamb and Jefferson. He said McLaurin and DJ Moore.
Number 1 overall. So you've got Jefferson and Lamb. To speak to those 2 guys, I love both players. I think they're great. I think they could potentially be the number 1. I still believe that it will be, and I've actually shifted my thoughts since the end of the regular season last year, but I still think Amari Cooper will be the one as far as fantasy wide receiver from the Cowboys on that team. But if we're looking for players who could be the number 1 overall fantasy option without being drafted like that, some players that might come to mind would be DJ Moore. Unrealistic, probably not going to happen, but a name that I think has the physical ability and could have the quarterback upgrade and maybe just lights the world on fire would be Terry McLaurin, because
I like that. I like those guys. I don't think they have the upside that Lamb and Jefferson do, but they're certainly breakout or bounce back or guys that will overperform from their draft slot. But Lamb screams potential top 1 to 5 wide receiver if you ask me. If Dak is truly back and healthy, and I believe he will be, because again, he looks fantastic right now. Doesn't look hampered at all. There's a lot of footage on him working out. Ankle looks fine. The foot looks fine. The extremity looks okay. We got the date wrong in the top corner again today. I do that every show. I forget to change it. It's 4/16. It wouldn't shock me at all, even on a somewhat disappointing year. Let's say he's not the number 1 wide receiver in 2021. I think the dude could drop 90 receptions, at least 85 to 90 receptions, 1,200 yards receiving, and give me 10 TDs for Ceedee Lamb. I think he's a bona fide wide receiver 1. I think he's arguable in the 2nd round, but please don't mock draft him there. Let's continue to steal him away in the third and fourth round from guys like Bob from accounting in your league, don't blow this. Don't go mock drafting him at number 14 or number 18 and moving his ADP even a little bit. Stop it. Third, fourth round, win a league material in 2021. I get a little more pushback than I would think when I say that this is the one guy, Jefferson, that could be the number one overall wide receiver of the guys you don't really expect to be the number one overall wide receiver. I don't really understand the pushback. 88 receptions, 1,400 yards, 7 TDs, 7 100-yard games. More importantly, passing the eye test more than any other wide receiver to come out of college in a long time. I get it, sophomore slump. I think part of it is the whole psychology in fantasy football that I talk about a lot, that these people that are doubting him and against him didn't draft him. They doubted him. And for whatever reason, on a subconscious level, you don't want to root for those players. If those players fail, it validates your initial take, and then you don't feel so bad in the morning. But I teach you to adjust and to adapt. And this man right here, Justin Jefferson, is the most likely wide receiver one overall of the guys not typically ranked in that range. And if you ask me, if I'm going into an auction draft, and I have the ability to pluck 2 wide receivers at low value considering their upside that can play like anybody in the NFL and get them at a cost that's so low in auction that I can still go buy myself elite running backs. These are them.
Lamb and Jefferson.
If I had to predict 2021 stats, I mean, give him 95 to 99 receptions, give him another 1,400 yards. I'm not going to even up that. That's fantastic. But give me 12 to 13 or 14 TDs, baby, because that's what this man's going to do for a living. Score touchdowns is part of what he does. It's part of the Justin Jefferson protocol.
The Justin Jefferson protocol, the official process of scoring touchdowns for a living.
Sunday morning, wake up, score a touchdown. Rinse and repeat.
Championship.
But JJ can win you a league from 3.01, 3.03 value. I've seen him fall as far as the late third. It won't happen in every league. You will find people like in our community that take him at the top of round 2. Stop it. Not because he doesn't deserve it. He does. But we don't want to ruin opportunity. I mean, Lamb and Jefferson are going in the third round in your magazine drafter type leagues. And if we mock him too high to prove to people in a mock draft that we love him. Look, I love him. Watch me. Yeah, 2.1, baby. You are ruining the value for all of us that want to clean up and take JJ in round 3. I don't care if it's 3.1. We clean up if we're able to do that and we win championships. Lamb and Jefferson, plug them into almost every team I can assemble in 2021. This is where I put a lot of eggs in one basket, which I typically don't recommend, but I can't help myself when it comes to Ceedee Lamb and JJ in 2021. And my boy, AJ Brown, next up. And I leave him out of a lot of these videos because I already feel like everybody knows that he's top 1 to 5 capable, but apparently enough people have complained and said,
Smitty,
please talk about AJ Brown more when you talk about number 1, number 2, number 3 surprise overall wide receiver finisher. So here I am to tell you that I already thought you knew this. I didn't think I had to repeat myself from last year when I beat a dead horse over and over and over, telling you to draft AJ Brown, trade for AJ Brown, acquire AJ Brown, especially in Dynasty. This guy's a top 5 wide receiver in the making. I didn't know I had to go there again, but here we are. A measly 70 receptions in 2020, yet he drops 1075, 11 TDs, and 4 100-yard games. Can you imagine what these numbers are going to look like in 2021 if he stays healthy? Vacated targets from Corey Davis, vacated targets from Jonnu Smith. I don't care if they bring in other players like rookies that have promising upside. He's going to absorb He's going to absorb and get at least 80 to 85 receptions, at least 1,200 yards receiving if he's healthy, and give him another 12 to 14 TDs and I don't know, 6 to 7 100-yard games. I am so pumped about A.J. Brown. And let me tell you, one of my favorite ways to build a dynasty startup in an auction is acquiring all 3 of these bad boys, because they're going to cost a little less than they should. Even A.J. Brown will cost you less than a Hill or an Adams, and you're getting 3 guys that, in my opinion, could be top 5 wide receivers. Will all 3 be? Probably not. Maybe. Probably. Probably not. I hope. I go back and forth, but the upside is there for every single one of these 3 to be number 1 overall. And I feel really confident that they're all going to be top 10, and 2 of them will be top 5 or 6 overall. My favorite wide receivers for 2021 are these 3 people you're looking at right here. Ceedee Lamb, JJ, Justin Jefferson, for those of you in the back, and AJ. These guys are bringing the Thunder in 2021. And my dynasty spin on this is that put Devonta Smith in this mix. You heard me loud and clear, because Devonta Smith, in my opinion, is going to give these guys a run for their money in Dynasty in 2022 and beyond. He'll have an occasional cup of coffee with these guys over here. Don't think he won't, even as a rookie, but he's walking out of 2021 at the end of it, all said and done, ranking over here with these guys in my mind. And you're looking at 4 of my favorite Dynasty wide receivers in fantasy football heading into 2021 and 2022 and beyond. And I wouldn't be afraid to predict not JJ type rookie numbers, but somewhere in between Ceedee Lamb and JJ for 2021 rookie numbers. That means that this guy could drop 1,000 yards, especially with the extra game, 65, 75 receptions, somewhere in that range, and give him 7 to 9 TDs as a rookie. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. Where he lands will shift my thinking, maybe change how quickly he could develop, good or bad. But right here, you're looking at my recipe for dynasty fantasy football building. These are your building blocks. If you can get all 4 of them on an auction team and still manage to build at least 1 running back spot up, can you imagine what your future will look like? These are my children. If you want text messages from me on demand, get on over to heysmitty.com and get my text service. I'm helping people every day better their teams. We're going through trade offers. We're cooking up trade offers. We're making sure that the right offers are accepted and the bad offers are rejected. And we're cooking up stuff all the time. If you want to text me and have this kind of conversation on demand whenever you want, get my service at heysmitty.com. And get on over to sleeperu.com, where you can find all of my written content, my bold predictions, which drop constantly throughout the offseason. I'm dropping 2 bold predictions on sleeperu.com probably tonight or tomorrow, so get on over to sleeperu.com. Until next time, I'll see you Tuesday and Thursday. I'm live every Tuesday and Thursday on my channel here, 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. We had Jason Moore on last time. We have a lot of guests slated for the next couple weeks, so don't miss a moment of my 3-hour-long show on thefantasyfootballshow.com, aka where you're at right now. Later.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty.
Take a left.